Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ken Reed and I am a relationship coach for gay men. I help my clients get off their dating apps, find open, honest, committed partners by boosting their self-esteem and their communication. For today's topic, I want to talk about a big dating mistake, which is playing it cool. Have you played it cool when you've gone dating? To explain what playing it cool means, it's an attitude. It's really about being as casual to the point of not wanting to reveal one's hand too early. And it's usually come about because of a bad experience that person has had where they felt like when they were perhaps more revealing, had their heart on their sleeve, that they got burned quite significantly. And it's because the other person didn't reciprocate. I want to make it very clear that pushing your hand and also being vulnerable with your feelings is one thing. The reason why people often leave or they don't feel comfortable with that is a completely different thing and doesn't mean that we should backpedal to the point of playing it cool. So this attitude of playing it cool manifests itself in a few ways. For example, the behavior can be in our texting where, for instance, you might be seeing someone who you really like and that person might be messaging you on Instagram and says, "Hey, I really like that photo of where you guys are at." You might reply, "Yeah, it's a really great place nearby my local town. I'm glad you like it." And their reply might be, "Lol." That's an example of playing it cool because rather than being like, "Yeah, look, I'd really like to check it out with you at some point, or I've been meaning to go there," they're defaulting to a very casual remark with the assumption that it will actually drive the person to be more interested in trying to follow up with further messages. And on that note, with regards to texting, you might often find that the person is playing hot and cold. So rather than having consistent messages, you always feel like you're putting in more effort to the person who's playing it cool. Like it feels like they just want to, not show their full hand, so to speak, in telling you how they really feel, which often is the case. They do probably like you, but they're just afraid to actually say it to your face because they're worried that they'll get burned again. Then it also can impact the way in which we date others too. You see, playing it cool can sometimes mean being overly friendly without wanting to get too touchy-feely, too intimate, too romantic, because these people are so scared of allowing their feelings to be felt that it can even really badly impact sex as well. If you're in a situation where you're sleeping with someone and they kind of feel like they're holding back emotionally, they're playing it cool because they don't want to get hurt. Ultimately, playing it cool hurts because that person is afraid to love and is afraid to get burned or is afraid to be vulnerable with their partner. This also manifests itself very early in the dating cycle when within the first couple of dates, you might be like, "Oh, look, what are you looking for? Like, what are your plans?" And they might be like, "Oh, I don't have an agenda. Let's just go with the flow. Let's just be cool about it." That might sound all right in theory because to many of us, we may not necessarily know what we want. We may think to ourselves, "Well, I'm not really ready to settle down yet. I don't really feel like I'm ready to be with a partner yet." Granted, that is fine. However, you say that in the moment. Your body, on the other hand, might have a very different reaction when you're in that moment. And there's nothing wrong with that. But if you allow that other person to have this attitude of, "Oh, let's play it cool," then both of you are doing a disservice to one another because you're not actually being honest with your feelings. You see, to allow any form of relationship, including friends with benefits, you need to be 100% transparent about how you feel for another person at all times. You see, the reason friends with benefits is so strict on this is because the minute feelings are introduced, you've got a lover and a friend, and that is not a friends with benefits relationship. If you want to be in a relationship, you both need to be comfortable with your feelings. And if one of you is withdrawing for fear of God knows whatever it might be, then you've really got to ask the question, which is, how long are you going to wait for this person? So you come up to a situation where both partners have reached a zero-sum game. They cannot get to where they want to be. And it's because there's fear and there's also withholding of one's emotions involved. So, ultimately, this is the reason why playing it cool is so detrimental to the impact of a relationship. I want to make it clear that there is a difference between being needy and being direct. And that's where I recommend another alternative to playing it cool, which is be radically honest. Just talk about what you want, what you're looking for, and understanding the kind of relationship that you're going into when meeting someone. The clearer you are about the kind of experience that you're after, the better it may be. Sure, you don't need to be hitched with this person on the first date, but at least get an understanding as to where you would like to find yourself in the near distant future. Because if it is a relationship, better to state that to a person now and let them freak out at the beginning, because then you'll know that that person probably wasn't worth the time and effort in the long run, rather than 4 weeks down the line where you could potentially be heartbroken for thinking that there was something worth there at all. So ultimately, playing it cool is actually a really, really bigger time waster than just having a direct conversation at the start of the dating cycle, just saying, hey, look, this is what I'm looking for down the road. Doesn't mean that I have to be with you, but I'm just curious to know where you're going with this. And you can phrase it however you like. The point is, be clear about what you want, be understanding as to the kind of experience that you're after, and you'll find that you'll actually end up with a lot more clarity from the other person's side, rather than trying to control them with this whole attitude of not revealing your feelings. More often than not, people will just withdraw, get bored, really feel indifferent towards you, and ultimately back off because they don't feel that you're actually showing any signs of attention for them, even if you really like them. So that's why playing it cool is detrimental to dating. I hope that, if anything, you start to go from playing it cool to being direct, and I'm sure you'll notice a difference with how you go in your dating. Hope you enjoyed that. If you liked it, please leave a like and subscribe. If you want to speak to me, please take a look at my website in the link below and book a consultation. Other than that, I look forward to speaking with you guys next week.